By mid-1943, the skies over Western Europe belonged to no one. The Luftwaffe was dangerous, and the Allies were still figuring out how to crack Fortress Europe from above. That's where we came in. The 476th Fighter Group, call sign Stormchasers, the first P-38 squadron to fly operations in Western Europe. They'd come up from the Mediterranean just a month earlier, tasked with proving the Lightning could make a difference in this theatre. Fast, long-legged, we were the experiment. High cover for the heavies, low sweeps for enemy targets, and the occasional deep strike. My second week, long enough to know the rhythm of the squadron, long enough to know who got respect. Most of them just straight up ignored me. The others, they called me the foreign kid. I still don't know if my decision to come was brave or stupid. Captain Turner was one of the few who said more than 2 words to me. But last week he had taken flak to the leg, limped back across the channel in his damaged crate. They pinned a Purple Heart on him, and gave him a comfy cot somewhere nice for a few weeks. The next mission for the Stormchasers was a bomber escort. 4 B-26 Marauders heading across the channel to hit a coastal gun emplacement. We climbed high and rode cover in a zigzagging pattern. There was no fighters to worry about, just a bit of flak. We did our part. But the bombers decided to concentrate their hits on only one of their targets. But they absolutely leveled it. That afternoon we were sent out on a patrol down the French coast to see if we could draw anything out. Command wanted contact. We flew in looking to pick a fight. But again, nothing. By the time we landed, I could feel it again, that look. That quiet sense that maybe I was the problem, the new guy, the jinx. The following day we were sent up again in the afternoon. Another patrol, clearing the airspace for a night raid. Other Allied flights in the area had seen nothing all day. We were out over the French coast when the call came in. Biggin Hill informed our flight lead, Lieutenant Wilson, that a flight of older Spitfires on a coastal strike mission were under threat. 4 Messerschmitt 410s had been vectored towards them. Twin-engine, heavy firepower. 4 of us, 4 of them. The Messerschmitt 410 wasn't built for dogfighting, but it wasn't harmless. We believed we had the jump. We came in hot, no time to think. Just throttle up and trust your wingman. Lieutenant Wilson gave us the signal to form a 2x2 flank. I was to ride wingman with Wilson. In my head I began going over the 410's characteristics. It was the new bomber hunter. They would try and form defensive circles and want to get into a turn fight with you so that the tail gunner could hammer you with its twin 13mm machine guns. We would have to catch them while the gunner was busy, but also be aware of their massive forward-facing firepower. The other 2 engaged first. Little managed to score some hits, but also took some in return. They then corralled them back towards us. I must have missed Wilson's hand signals and lost visual with him while watching this all unfold. The next thing I knew, I had 2 410s heading my way. I began a big arc and climb turn. All I had to do was stay out of their forward-facing gun range and slow them down for our trailers to chew them up. It worked. Little and Chamberlain came in with speed and made them nervous, and they disengaged. They formed a defensive circle, and I knew I had to stay patient. We began cutting through the circle trying to stir them up. The closest one to me, also the one that Little had tagged, broke free. I followed, using my speed to catch him. His tailgunner's shots whizzing over my canopy. This is where I didn't want to be. I pulled a burst on the trigger. Hits! All up the wing. I pulled the trigger again and his left engine exploded in a fireball. Then something hit the left side of my Lightning like a sledgehammer. I watched the 410 roll over and fall out of the sky. I'd made a kill. But at what cost? I was streaming coolant, but the controls felt fine. I decided to push on. I circled back up and around. As I climbed up, I found another 410 alone. Dropped in behind him and got guns on. This time staying well out of the arc of his tail gunner. The burst lit up his right side and his fuel tank. Fireball. He spiraled down hard. Someone managed to bail out. Then over the radio, Wilson informed us that all bogies were down, and that Little was already on his way home. He'd sustained a lot of damage. I would later find out that Wilson had got both of the other 410s while sitting above me watching everything happen. I rejoined formation with the other two. I was smoking, but not too bad. But every sound made me flinch. Kept one eye on the temperature gauge and the other on the horizon. Headcorn came into view like a miracle. And I got her down safe. They pulled 2 kills off my gun camera. I got a nod from Lieutenant Wilson. Even a smile from the chief. There was no victory party, no handshake, but something shifted. I wasn't just the foreign kid anymore. I was the guy who brought my Lightning home and left 2 Messerschmitts burning behind me.